Four-man rush, and the ball slips out of his hand. No whistle yet.
Ruling on the field is a fumble.
Thinking it was an incomplete pass, the ball goes forward.
That's a fumble, but what's the flag? Unbelievable. Osweiler, who mishandled a snap earlier in the third
quarter. There's no foul
quarter.
for ICT on the play.
Save the day for wrapping it up in his special way. Throw in the preview show. Add some alcohol and here we go. Senor Batman, Senor Batman, Senor Batman, Senor Batman, Senor Batman, Senor Batman, Senor Batman.
Boo! Gotcha! It's me! It's I, Senor Batman. Happy Halloween! Oh, got you! I got you! I know I got you! Boo! Spooked ya! It's Halloween, senors! Well, Monday is, and I won't see you fuckers till then. So, it's I, Senor Batman! In case you didn't realize, like, hey, who's the guy with the sombrero and the mask? Well, if you're new to this, I'm Senor Batman, and this is my fantasy football league that I do a show for. I mean, what else is there to say? But I'm here for your Week 7 wrap-up. In your Week 8 preview show. Now, last week, the show was late. Came on Sunday morning. I apologize. Shit happens. So, I kind of rushed through it a little bit. Technically, I should have done a mid-season wrap-up kind of thing. Kind of like, hey, what happened over... But I kind of did and kind of didn't. So we're going to cover that. We're going to pretend like this week is the halfway point. Because, really, I should have done this last week. But we're going to go and we're going to do kind of a... I'm going to do the Week 7 wrap-up. Going to write that shit better than you've ever seen. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through the standings like I do, but I'll also put a little, I'll tell you what I think's going to happen from here on out, okay? And then we're going to get to the, Michael Rakestraw's post on Facebook, Book of Faces, as some people call it, the cool kids. And then we're going to do the preview show for Week 8. So, why are we going to waste time with this shit? But first, before we move to the Week 7 wrap, did you see that novel? The freaking Luke Bartos posted? Oh man, he is not feeling too hot. He can't get a win. He couldn't get lucky in a women's prison, because he's got a dick, and there's a bunch of women in prison. They haven't gotten dick or anything really sexual, probably other than maybe they went muff diving or some shit, but scissor, the scissor, you take the scissors. So anyhow, they may have done shit like that, but they haven't gotten the dick. Well, Luke is the guy with the dick that he can't get lucky there. They're like, oh, just no. So that's where he's at right now. His team's shit. So anyhow, but it's not really shit. We'll get to that though. Let's get to the Week 7 wrap-up. Okay, so starting up, Week 7, Chronic Ross Debater versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Portals. Teenage Mutant Ninja Portals. Teenage Mutant Ninja Portals. Only scored 85, so he lost 137.1. Almost. High score. Well, not really. He needed another 30 fucking points. But almost high score for the week. Beats Teenage Mutant Ninja Portals. Teenage Mutant Portals. This kid get... He's kind of like Luke Bartos. He couldn't get lucky in the women's prison this week. He keeps having losses. He's 1-6 now. Chronic roster bender moves to 7-0. He is undefeated. No one has beat him. He went undefeated during the round 1 divisional matchups. He's so far undefeated in the 3 division cross-division classic matches. He's got John Mickle next week, which we'll preview in a minute. And I can't believe it. He's 7-0. He has more wins this regular season so far than he did all of last regular season. He was 6-7, and he got the wild card. He's 7-0. So, When's his luck going to run out is the real question, am I right? So he gets the victory, 137.1. And the next question is, when is Teenage Mutant Ninja Portal's luck going to come back? He had lucky in week, you look good in week 2. Ever since, cannot do shit. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, Peterson. Hey! 3 on Peterson. Loses to Martial Law, 113 to 91.5 points. T.Y. Hilton gets in some big points. Just for off top of my head, he's without Adrian Peterson. Whoop, hit the mic. Adrian Peterson, he doesn't have Ben Roethlisberger. He's got quite a bit of injuries stacking up on his bench. So that is partially the reason. But Martial Law gets the victory, moves to 4-3. Adrian Peterson moves to 3-4. Next up, probably the closest matchup of the week. Well, it is 132.9 to 127.9. Just 5-point difference. Richmond Russ, Mr. John Mickle, beats I'm Sofa King. We tied it. He takes the loss. Jay Ajayi getting 28 points for Richmond Rush. And even though Melvin Gordon gets 33.1 for So Fucking We Tied It, it's just not enough. So another loss for him. 0-7. Richmond Rush moves to 6-1. Next up, Rake Session. Rakes. Welcome to Bollocks Pit. 130.9 to 76. Just beats him down. Just slaps him around. Kicks him in the balls. Spits on him. Just really whoops his ass. Almost a 70-point victory, which would have been a name change. But unfortunately, it was only as little as it was. It wasn't 70 points. So 130.9. He gets the victory, moves to 5-2. But that also makes Welcome to Bollocks Pit 5-2. Another bad week for Bohack. Still 5-2 though. 76 points. Still 5-2. So we'll see how that affects his overall points. He needs to really turn it around. So moving on. Speaking of turning it around, Slay City Slayers. 4 straight victories. 141 to 121.2. El Sacco takes a loss. He's like freaking Jeff Fisher out here. El Sacco. He's freaking Jeff Fisher. He's freaking Mr. I win one, I lose one, I win one. He's going to end up like freaking, there's 13 games. He's going to end up like 6-7 or 7-6. That's what's going to happen here. But he scores 121 points. Slay City Slayers gets the high score for the week at 141. Andy gets the victory. He moves to 4-3, as I said. El Sacco to 3-4. Finally, hashtag wide receivers do not matter, is what I should say. Wide receivers do not matter because they do not get him points. He only scores 85.1, which allows Ray Charles Moneyball, even though he only scores 100.2, to get the victory. Andrew Luck got him 27.8 points, and then there was enough to make him 3-4. Wide receivers matter at 1-6. Let's take a look at the standings, starting with Division Uno, as always, because Uno's 1, unless you're stupid. So, Clark Rossbader sitting atop the leaderboard at 7-0. Welcome to Bollocks Pit. Still has a clinch, or like a clench, I should say. His hand is gripped on that second spot. I picture this is how I picture Mr. Bohack. Welcome to Bollocks Pit is sitting there, and there's a cliff. And on that cliff, it's like, this is the second place cliff. So here's what you got right now. You got Clark Rossbader, who currently is dominating Division Uno. Then you have Welcome to Bollocks Pit in second. Like, he's hanging on. He's like, oh, shit. Please. Oh, shit. He's just hanging. Oh, shit. I need to get up there. There's a lot of people down here that are climbing up. I need to get up there. He's hanging down to second place. Because Slay City Slayers, he's a coming. He's like a freight train lately. 4 straight victories for him. He is actually the only... Yeah, he's got 4 straight victories. He's the only one on a win streak right now besides Crime. Rossbader is, well, in this division at least. But he's in third place. Andy is the highest. Wait, what? Oh, I was going to say, that wasn't organized. Anyways, Slay City Slayers is second in points in the league. Therefore, he got that wildcard spot to himself right now. Adrian Peterson at 3-4. Wide receivers matter at 1-6. I'm Sofa King. We tied it at 0-6. 7. So, but let's take a look at the points because it gets kind of interesting. Okay, so Karak Rossbader, most points in the league, 922.3. Sitting up at top. Then you got Slate City Slayers at 833.8. Then I'm so fucking retarded at 755.5. So he is third in points. So what does that mean over here? That means he has had 906.1 points scored against him, which is the most, as well as Ray Charles Moneyball. Come on. White receivers matter at 884.9 and then 821.2 for Adrian Peterson. But it's kind of funny here because if you look, then Slacey Slayers is 5th on this list and Welcome to Bollocks Pit is 6th. So is these two teams at the bottom here for points against really that good? Or are they just getting lucky and facing people that are having shit weeks? We already knew that was the case with Bollocks Pit, but you can see it really well here. I mean, even if you go here and sort this the other way, it's almost a whole 30 points from here to here. So we'll take a look at that in a minute for Division Dos, but back to the points for. But finally, Adrian Peterson, 749, 739 for White vs. Matter. Welcome, Bollocks Pit. 672, least points scored in the league. So, I said I'd give you a preview of Division Uno. Here it is. During the wrap-up, no less. Jeez. Anyways, Karak Rossbader, I think, is the one team in this whole entire division that I think you can pretty much count on to make the playoffs. You can see, he's scored the most points in the league. He's not lost yet. Could his luck change? Obviously. Everyone's luck can change. But he does have a 2-game gap from him to Bollocks Pit. So, in 3 games, 4 games, 6 games, 7. So, you see what I'm saying? So, he's got already a decent foothold on a roster spot. Will he win the division? That I can't guarantee. Looks like the most probable, obviously. But the fact of the matter is, I think Karak Rossbader will make it. Honestly, Bollocks Pit, it's really kind of hard to decide what I think is going to happen with his team. Because, yes, he has 5 wins in the season, 2 losses, and I keep saying his luck's got to run out at some point, but he's only lost twice despite being the lowest scoring team in the league. So, but he needs to hold on to second place. That means he needs to get victories, because if he does not, he will not win the wild card. That I can almost guarantee, because he is just too far back to do that. He would have to have everyone else really slow down for him to pick up the pace and win it, or his team would really have to pick up the pace and start scoring more points. Both two things I don't know exactly that he can make up all those points, because he's almost, he's like 200 plus points from him, the roster bearer, so that's a lot of points to make up with only, I believe, 6 weeks remaining. So that's that. Slacey Slayers has been on a tear. Now, as I said, he is has the second least points scored against him, but he's also the second most. So I think his team is a little more legit than Bohack's. So I can see him maybe pulling off that second spot. But hey, you never know. But he could also fall out of it as well. Adrian Peterson, it's really an injury thing for him. If it wasn't for all these injuries, he'd probably be doing better. Just these injuries are stacking up. He needs these people to either get healthy or not. It's kind of the same thing for I'm so fucking retarded. He needs these injuries. Basically, if I'm him, he needs to basically win out to be 6 and 7, which was the wild card position last year for Karak Rossbader. So if that happens, maybe he makes it on that, but he needs to keep scoring points. So both those teams just need some injury help to keep going forward. And hashtag wide receivers matter, I don't even know. I mean, let's take a look at his team real quick. I mean, obviously this is this week, but he's had some tough luck with Charles, obviously, so, Edelman, Nelson, both have underperformed greatly, so we'll see what happens this week, but he just needs his luck. I think it's just a bad luck thing for him that he's 1 and 6, because he looked like a really good team to start off, and then he just kind of petered out. So that's Division Uno. So if I had to pick the 3 teams I think would make from Division Uno, I'm going to go with Karak Rossbader, Slay City Slayers, and I gotta say, it's a tough one, but I'm gonna give it to Here's the two teams I think it's between. I think it's between Peterson, Adrian Peterson, and I'm so fucking retarded. Now, because he has a good team, both these teams are the same thing. If they can get healthy, they'll start winning games, I think. Or at the very least, scoring points. Now let's go to Division Dos. Sort this. Richmond Rush is the leader of this division at 6-1, only one loss this year. Rake Session at 5-2, Martial Law at 4-3, El Saco at 3-4, Ray Charles Moneyball at 3-4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at 1-6. Points though go Rake Session, then El Saco, then Richmond Rush, then Ray Charles Moneyball, then Martial Law, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, as of right now, even though Martial Law has a 4-3 record, El Saco would actually be the wild card spot because it's based on total points scored. So, Martial Law either needs to start winning and Mike needs to start losing, or even Richmond Rush for that matter, can start losing, or he needs to start scoring some more points because he's got a ways to go. Because he's, let's see, about 120, I'm thinking? No, 110. 110 points about, give or take point, whatever. 110 points he needs to pick up on El Saco. Because El Saco's been scoring points. He's the third highest scorer in the whole entire league. Right behind Rake Session, who's first, and second in the divisional standings, at least. So, honestly, for Martial Law, what he kind of wants is Saco to start winning games and maybe Richmond Rush to fall down, because if that happens, again, not showing hate for Richmond Rush, I'm just saying what Martial Law is probably preferring to happen, which is Richmond Rush to start losing games and to fall down so that he has a better chance to catch him as far as points. Ray Charles Moneyball just kind of sitting in the middle. He's doing better than Martial Law, though, as far as points. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he's not that far behind, really. I mean, he's got a ways to go. He's had some really bad weeks. 5-loss streak right now. Sitting at 1-6. He really is kind of in the same situation as I'm so fucking retarded. He just needs to start putting up points, is really what it comes down to. So that's it. So Division Dos, I think, here's the teams I think will be. It's these three right here. Michael Rakestraw, which is a.k.a. Rake Session, El Saco, and Richmond Rush. I think those will be your three teams. So, based on that, I will say it'll be Chronic Roth Debater, Slay City Slayers. If I'm going to pick between one, I'm going to go I'm So Fucking Retarded. Then I'm going to go Rake Session, El Saco, and Richmond Rush will be your 6 playoff teams. So, let's go to the Facebook post. Roll through this real quick. Alright, so high scorer for... I didn't go through this last week, so I'm going to do both weeks. For last week, it was Nick Bartos. This week, it was Mark Lasky who's high scorer. King of the Hill 2 doesn't start for a few more weeks. Survivor, the last 2 eliminated teams were McGovern and Bohack. Highest score of the season, that didn't change. Either the largest margin of victory. What is wrong with me? I'm not even drinking today. I think it's my mouth. It's a little dry. But, yeah, other than that, that's all about the same. So... only teams you got left here for Survivor, so would be... looks like you've got Rakestraw, Mickle, McFadden, Lasky, and Nick Bartos are your 5 remaining teams, I believe. Yeah, so there's 12 teams. So that's your 5 is Mickle, McGovern, no. Mickle, Rakestraw, McFadden, Lasky, and Nick Bartos are your 5 remaining Survivor teams. So we'll see what happens there. So click back to here, and that's it for the wrap up. A pretty long one. I apologize, but hey, it's what happens. So let's get to the Week 8 preview show. Preview show. Okay, so first up, we got Peterson. Hey, Dream Peterson versus Rake Session. And they're projecting Rake Session to get the victory. And I'm just going to keep this one pretty short and sweet because, honestly, I think you can. Now, actually, maybe not. So, you got over on Peterson and Peterson. Obviously, he's going to be without Antonio Brown this week because he's on a bye. Carlos Hyde this week because he's on a bye. Roethlisberger because he's on a bye / injured. No Adrian Peterson. So really going to be kind of an interesting situation. So let's see who he's got. He's got Rivers at quarterback, McKinnon, assuming he plays, and Sproles, T.Y. Hilton and Garcon, Gates at tight end, Aguilar, and Devontae Booker, who now C.J. Anderson is out, which you can see right there. Probably out for the season. Booker is in. So he's getting some luck. It looks like his luck is starting to change a little bit. Hopefully he gets these guys back, at least these three. Roethlisberger, Hyde, Brown. Although Rivers, I think, will be okay in the meantime. So that's his team over there. Drake Sessions got Matt Ryan, who I believe is still the best quarterback. Yes, he's still the best quarterback in fantasy football Americano. C.J. Anderson is out, so he has to choose between Langford, Jones, Ivory, or Gillisley, which I'm guessing he's going to go with Matt Jones if he plays, because or maybe Ivory if he plays, or like if Jones doesn't, or Gillisley probably if what's-his-face doesn't play, McCoy, so that's where he's going to probably do there. Also, it's DeMarco Murray, as always. Randall Cobb and Amari Cooper at receiver. Tight end, Jimmy Graham. His flex is Thomas and Olsen. Jets at defense. So, here's how I think this is going to go. I think Rake Session gets the victory. They're saying by 18 points. I think it's going to be close. I do think this one's going to be a little bit closer than that. But I do think Rake Session definitely gets the victory. It's just so many injuries plus bye weeks. It's just really hurting Peterson. I mean, Aguilar is barely even startable. I mean, Garcon, he's up and down. Sproles, what has Sproles really done other than since this 1 week? The 8 points would have been okay, but he's just not really done shit. So, whereas I feel like he's got a lot of players here now. Anderson definitely is a hit to his team. Really hurts it. He's been a perennial high scorer, second highest scorer in the whole entire league. That might come to an end. We'll see. But Rake Session, I think, will get the victory at least this week. Next up, a rematch of a match that happened the final week of last year, a.k.a. the championship rematch. Here we go. Chronic Rossbader obviously won this last year, won the championship. It was a great time for him. Richmond Rush did not win. He lost. And instead, he had to go home, and he had to go cry, and everyone he was never heard from again until draft day. Then he showed up, and he's drafted another good team. Is it a good enough team to beat Chronic Rosterbader? Well, if he doesn't have a tight end, no, it won't be. But, see who else he's got down here. Yeah, he still doesn't have another tight end. He doesn't really have a lot of moves he can make. It's like, who's he going to drop? So, that's really what it comes down to. He'd probably have to drop Pitta, or I guess he could drop Colts, or maybe he could drop Floyd, maybe Tyrell Williams even. I don't know if you'd want to do that. Tyrell's been pretty solid, you can see. So, but anywho, let's go through what it is as is. Stafford, he's been a great quarterback. You can see he's the third best quarterback in fantasy this year. Doing good for him. David Johnson and Crowell, both decent running backs. Crowell gives the Jets. Isn't the greatest matchup, but it's not terrible. Johnson, on the other hand, faces Carolina, which is a good matchup, I would say, because it doesn't matter who Johnson faces, he put up points. Mike Evans, one of the best matchups of the week against Oakland. Devontae Adams, he's going to take a chance to see if he can do that again. Doesn't have Odell Beckham this week or Rashad Jennings, so he has to throw out Devontae Adams. Tight end, he's going with Delaney Walker. Right now in his flex, he's got Jeffrey and Rudolph. Vikings D, as always, and Vinatieri. Over on Richmond Rush, Rodgers against Atlanta should be decent. Ware should be great. Theo Riddick against Houston. Houston's a tough D, but they did just get ran on by two different running backs, so I think he'll be okay. DeAndre Hopkins against Detroit, again, should be decent. Doug Baldwin against Saints should be decent. We'll see who gets a tight end. Deshaun Jackson, questionable, but he's facing Cincinnati. We'll see how that goes. Marvin Jones against Houston, not the best matchup, but hey, it's probably the best he can do. And Broncos D against San Diego. Last time they faced San Diego, they got 7 points. So probably something like that again. So right now they're projecting Chronic Rosterbader to get a 10-point victory. And personally, there's good matchups on both sides. I feel like the high scorer is going to come out of this matchup, and I think that person is going to be Richmond Rush getting a little bit of revenge. He doesn't have anyone on bye other than Pida. Well, and Ajayi now. But Beckham and Ajayi, I'm going to change my position now. It's a really... Oh, boy, drop the mic. This one's really tough to pick. I got to be honest. This one's really tough for me because, Richmond Rush, he's got a good lineup. So does Kronk Rosterbader. It could really go either way. I know I originally said Richmond Rush, but I think I'm going to say Kronk Rosterbader. I'm just going to give it to... They're projecting him to win. I don't think it'd be an upset for Richmond Rush to win, so I'm not going to call it my upset of the week. But, depends who he gets. He also has, Woods maybe that he could throw out there instead of Rudolph, or Rudolph instead of Delaney, So, we'll see what he does. But, personally, I think that Kronk Rosterbader pulls off a very tight victory. I mean, we'll see. He's going to have to depend a lot on Jeffrey, Rudolph, Vikings D, because he doesn't have anyone going Monday night or even Sunday night. All his games are done by 4:20 or 3:25 Central Time, so he's going to have a lot of points to make up. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to give the victory to Kronk Rossberry in a repeat of what happened last year. Next up, I'm Sofa King We Tarid versus Ray Charles Moneyball. And, what it comes down to is Doug Martin playing or is Doug Martin not playing? Let's take a look. Didn't practice Wednesday. Probably not going to play. Jeez, I fucking stutter like a fucking idiot. Anyhow, he does not have Terrence West this week. So, that's that. He over here does not have apparently one of his 3 quarterbacks. And he doesn't have... Well, that's it, really. He has everyone else. He hasn't put Ezekiel Elliott in yet, which I'm assuming he will put in. I don't know why he wouldn't, but let's assume he puts him in. I'm just really taken aback by that. Anyways, probably hasn't set his lineup yet, so only player I see here that he'll probably start is Ezekiel Elliott, and I would imagine he's going to bench Howard or move Howard to his flex and bench one of those tight ends. Maybe he benches Bennett. I don't know. But I'm going to make this one a quick one since this episode's already going long. I'm going to give it to I'm So Fucking We Taught It. I just think that his luck's got to turn on eventually. Winston's got a great matchup. Forte's got a great matchup. Gordon, last time he faced Denver, he had 9 points. It's his worst week of the year. But if they can get in close, they give him the ball, and he scores. Green against Washington, that should be monster points. Bryant back in his lineup finally. Should be pretty good. Hold on. Just a dry throat to screw me up. And then you got Clay at tight end, Eddie Royal, Bolden. So, and over here, he's just got all these tight ends. And, I mean, he's got a few good matchups, but we'll see what happens. He's also got some bad ones. If he does start Howard against Minnesota, I'm not predicting a huge week. So I'm going to give it to I'm So Fucking We Taught It. And that's who they're predicting to win. So, we match. Next up, Slay City Slayers versus Martial Law. So, Slay City Slayers is starting Drew Brees at quarterback. Ingram and Blount at running back. Both have tough matchups. Allen Robinson, seeing if he can get back in the thing. I mean, look at this. This guy is freaking the 42nd ranked receiver. Has not done shit this year other than 1 week. He's also got Michael Crabtree against Tampa. Cameron Brate versus Oakland, which is good. And Nunua versus Cleveland should be good. Montgomery versus Atlanta should be decent. Eagles D versus Dallas and Caleb Sturgis. Martial Law, on the other hand, has Dak Prescott at quarterback. Devontae Freeman with the job all to himself with Gio Bernard against Washington. So that's decent. Terrell Pryor, as long as he plays against the Jets, should be okay. Mohamed Sanu against Green Bay, not the greatest matchup. Gronk, or actually, it is not a bad matchup, but really what it comes down to, Sanu is, he either gets you he needs to score a touchdown. He's super touchdown dependent. Gronk is back to his old ways, so that should be decent. Calvin Benjamin against Arizona. Honestly, I don't really know if he's going to have a huge game. Arizona was pretty tough, but we'll see. Lockett is kind of a dart throw. Just looking at bench real quick, I don't really see anyone on either side that I would say, okay, this guy, I mean, he might start Jonathan Stewart. I don't, we'll see there, but we'll, maybe something with Jordan Reed over Cameron Brate. But I'm going to give this one to Mr. Slacey Slayers. even though they're projecting martial law to win, I don't think it's really an upset. 2 4-3 teams, both on multiple game winning streaks. Stacey Slayers obviously is longer, but I think what's going to happen is I think Stacey Slayers has just got a little more talent. I don't think this is going to be a particularly high scoring game for either of these guys. I think it'll be around 100 points each. So I personally think Stacey Slayers will outlast martial law. Next up, Bollocks Pit versus El Sacco. El Sacco projected to win by over 10 points. Russell Wilson's not himself. And no matter how much love Bohack gives Russell Wilson, Wilson's not going to show him love back. He got Ciara pregnant, so I'm surprised that Bollocks Pit hasn't dropped Russell Wilson after feeling betrayed. But he's got a good matchup, so he should do well, but he just hasn't been himself. I mean, you can look at the points. He's the 24th quarterback. He hasn't had really a big week this year. I mean, against the Jets, yeah, but other than that, he's not really done shit. Chris Thompson at running back and Lamar Miller both have okay matchups, so that should be okay. Cooks against Seattle, who knows? Every week it's someone different in New Orleans that has a huge week, so maybe it'll be Cooks this week, maybe it won't. Matthews has been all over the place. Zach Miller against Minnesota, I'm not expecting much for that. Beasley and Asiata should be okay, but Asiata's better if McKinnon does not play. Packers D versus Atlanta, not terrible matchup, but not great either. I mean, Julio Jones might burn the shit out of them, so we'll see what happens there. Over here, El Sacco has Tom Brady against Buffalo. Tom Brady wasn't there last time, but he has been solid every week, so I would expect another solid outing. Michael and James White at running back should be decent. He does not have Le'Veon Bell this week, which might be the reason if he loses. That might be why. It might literally be why, because he might just not have that that one piece of his puzzle, and that might bring him down. Now over here, I mean, he's not really missing anything too important, so I think El Sacco will get the victory. I'm not going to go through the rest of this because it's just basically a bunch of players. So El Sacco, I think, gets the victory over Bollocks Pit, and Bollocks will move to 5-3 at that point, which might put him in danger of losing that second spot if Stacey Slayers were to win. Finally, I'm going to call this the Unlucky Bowl, because it's wide receivers matter versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, both on a 5-game losing streak. Someone's got to win. That's just the way it is. I mean, I guess they could tie, but that is super hard to do. Now, he does not have, on the wide receivers matter, doesn't have Mike Wallace, Kenny Britt, Tucker, nothing too terrible. Over here, though, he kind of takes a hit. He does not have Jarvis Landry this week, and that might be the reason why he loses. Let's take a look. Starting with wide receivers matter, he has Cam Newton against Arizona. I imagine Cam Newton's not going to be ahead a long time in that game, if at all. So I think Cam Newton's going to have to throw or run. So I think he'll be pretty good. Okay, at least. He won't have a bad game, I wouldn't think, at least. Latavius Murray is back against a Tampa defense that's just not really done as good as they were doing on run defense. I think Murray will be pretty good, as will Frank Gore against Kansas City. I think he'll just do what he always does, which is like 10 points. Edelman against Buffalo, you got to think, last time he faced Buffalo, he only had 2 points, 1 catch. You got to feel like Edelman's going to get it eventually. Same thing with Jordy Nelson. Tyler Eifert versus Washington should be an interesting start, as is Ryan Matthews versus Dallas. Willie Snead, again, just like I said before, New Orleans, you don't know who, it happens. Over on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Derek Carr against Tampa should be decent. Hill versus Washington should be good. TJ Yeldon versus Tennessee, I don't know. He hasn't really done shit this year. So, I mean, he's had a couple good games, but he's really not been someone you depend on. So who knows what happens there. I personally don't think much, especially against Tennessee. Jeremy Maclin and John Brown, again, just kind of two dart throws. Maclin hasn't done really anything. He's getting targets, but he's not doing nothing with them. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, he's good. John Brown, again, dealing with a leg problem. Didn't play last week, so we'll see what happens. Ertz versus Dallas should be okay, you would think. Stephon Diggs should actually have a really good game. I mean, last year I know Diggs chewed up Chicago's defense, so Diggs should be decent. Duke Johnson's kind of in a timeshare there against the Jets. So if they get behind, he'll get some passes. That's for sure. Cardinals D, there you go. So I gotta go with the projection, and I don't really know what to say. Wide receivers matter. Projected 110, only 98 projected for Teenage Mutant Ninja Bortles. It just kind of shows how his luck has been this year and how things have been going. I mean, projections aren't everything, but they're projecting him to not even score 100. So that sucks for him, but I think it's true. I think that's what's going to happen, and I think wide receivers matter gets the victory, and that's all we've got for that. So you just got your Week 7 wrap-up. You just got your Week 8 preview, and you also, even in the middle there, you got kind of a season wrap-up preview type thing. So that's all I really got. That's a lot of show. It's probably going to be like a 40-minute show, and you're probably, if you're watching this right now, you're like, yes, you're fucking, you took forever. You're taking too long. Or maybe you're like, yes, senor, keep going. I want like 2 hours of show. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, I guess. But otherwise, that's all I have for this week. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope that everyone has good luck. Everyone has an injury-free week. I hope that, we have some good matchups this week. So, until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios!